Truth Entertainment Films and AAA Productions presents the AAA Podcast. We're aware, alive, and about it. We're here to cover all topics, no holds barred, from politics to sports. We've got you covered. No topic is off limits. No issue is too hot. This is the AAA Podcast.
Back like we never left, or better yet, back like we never stole nothing from you, even though we robbed you for everything blind. This is the AAA Podcast. I am Black V, aka Jay Harris. That is Godless Reggie, the host of the what's the name of the show again?
Faith, Lies, and Confusion comes on every Sunday around church time, 11:45 Eastern Standard Time. Check it out.
And the church says, "Amen." Yo, bro, it's good to see you. As always, it's a privilege and a pleasure to be working with you on something. It's probably gonna sound like we on a rant with a lot of these topics today, right? And maybe a little bit I told you so, or a little bit of not just making those that don't like black folks mad, but making some black folks mad too by giving some honest truths. But I think that's what we kind of here for, is just the reality of giving everybody truth, no matter your race, color, creed, religion, faith, non-belief, or whatever. It's a lot going on in the world. Me and Reggie don't have all the answers, but we both do a lot of research. We both do a lot of reading. We both do a lot of conversations. We both take time to actually converse with people who don't agree with us and kind of learn different perspectives. We may not always agree, but I think we both can understand we both have a thing of understanding to realize why some people experiences may have drawn them to a conclusion. Am I fair to say that for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of things that I realize now that I was wrong about. I spoke on one yesterday. One thing that I used to honestly think was appropriate behavior was spanking of children. It's child abuse. Anybody that does that is for one or two reasons. It's and it kind of can be the same. It's either because the saying that we were taught was it spare the rod, spoil the child, religious reasons, or frustration. Right? You're only hitting this child because you can't get them to do what you want them to do. Right? I realized I was wrong. I realized also that I used to be very ignorant about a lot of things, right?
People hate that word. I love that word. I love that word. I love it.
I love it.
People hate it, but I love it. It's a trigger word, but I love it.
Yes, it is a trigger word. And you know why it's a trigger word? Because most people don't use that word correctly. We don't use it correctly. Growing up in the hood, it's a slang word in the way we say it in the hood. But when you use it accurately, it means lack of knowledge. And everyone is ignorant about things.
Something.
No, right. Nobody knows everything, right? I'll tell you one thing that I was ignorant about. And looking back, it's so obvious, right? Okay, so most black people were really only from one part of the country, if you really think about it, right? We're really only from the East Coast. Now, you could say we're from down south, same thing. You could say that we're from the big cities, same thing. But if you look anywhere past really like Texas, we're really not from there. There are people that live out in California. There's people that live in Texas, out west, but 2 generations back at the most, for sure, they're not from out there, right? I used to honestly think in my mind that when we're talking about Mexicans, I used to think that when we talk about Mexicans, that they're illegals. That just coincided with me. So I was thinking,
I used to think welfare coincided with black people.
You used to think what?
I was ignorant. I thought welfare only coincided with black people. I didn't know no better back then.
Right, but when you think about it now, we're 13% of the population. That can't even be. That's not even realistic. But I really used to think that all the Mexican people that came in the country came illegally. And then once I got older and I started realizing the part of the United States that we seized, and we stole, America stole the whole thing any fucking way, however you look at it. It wasn't even that long ago, right? And then on top of that, once I went out there, once I went to Texas, I went to Utah, I seen from my own eyes. I'm like, this is not the United States that I know. It doesn't even look like the same fucking country. And it has really nothing to do with them. But once you see that and then you see them, you like, oh yeah, these motherfuckers belong here. This is where they are from. That's right. They at the
stay home. This has been there. Some of them homes were fucking before we ever got here. They never, I don't know how they never do it, but they never like to associate, and I know why they do.
Yeah, I know why they do too.
They like to associate a lot of Mexicans also as Native Americans. And the reality of it is they're natives to this land, just like the native tribe, the quote unquote learning. I swear
they are. Listen, they are natives. Listen, they are Native Americans.
Yes,
they are.
They are.
They are.
And it's so hard. So, like when you call a Mexican who lives, say, like whose family is from Texas, whatever case, right? And their family has most probably been there, more than likely been there since before any of these Dutch, English, Spanish,
anybody. They've been
any
there.
settlers came onto this land. And it's like a lot of people, most Americans do not know Christopher Columbus never set foot here on North America at all. Better yet, they say he never even set foot on this continent of South America.
He didn't.
He just touched the islands, the outlying islands.
Listen, when you go to the Caribbean, you can see the evidence where he was there. You go to Jamaica, Dominican Republic, you could see it. They got where he landed at. So yes, that's a fact.
Most people, I didn't know. That's not, bro. Does it suck for you when you realize, like, yo, I was indoctrinated? I didn't even know.
Listen, do you know that's not even that man's name?
Yeah, I know.
Did you ever seen his journal?
Bro, hey, he was a fucked up individual, criminal, a lot. And most of the people that they gave him for the journey were other fucked up individuals too.
Yeah. But did you see how smart he was though?
Nuh-uh.
So listen, I'm just gonna tell you something.
You mean smart is like he outsmarted the queen?
No. So he already knew a little bit of astrology and what's the other one? I'm saying it wrong.
It's astrology. He knew the stars.
Yeah. He knew the stars, and he knew of what's them damn things called? Eclipses, because you know they can predict them.
Yeah.
So he knew of a coming eclipse, and what he told the natives was he asked them, can he have some of their crops so he can make the trip back to Spain, right? And they told him no, because that's all they had for themselves, right? You know, they was giving, but they wasn't going to give you to the point where it's to the detriment of themselves. So he knew of this eclipse coming, so he told them, if you don't give it to me tomorrow, I'm going to make the moon disappear. They didn't give it to him.
I heard about this. Yeah.
They didn't give it to him. The next day was a fucking eclipse. Once the eclipse came, they gave him the crops, and he went home. When he came back, he came with the war dogs and shit, and ate them, most of them.
Yeah, it's some fucked up individuals in history, bro. History is dope, and it sucks at the same time. Like learning the real history, not this indoctrinated, not let me teach you what we want you to believe about it. Like, don't get me wrong, history across the board has been manipulated, right? Like there's certain things in Black history, like you learn and you be like, oh man. And I guess in the main thing of it is to hopefully not take away from the actual objective that was achieved, is what they try to do. But when they water it down or they don't tell you the whole truth of things, like my whole life, and maybe I'm wrong for looking at it this way. My whole life, like, and this is gonna suck because there's gonna be a lot of Black people probably mad at me with this one, but yo, I literally thought like Rosa Parks was just this woman who got off work by no design, no plan thing. This woman who got off work, sat in the front of the bus and just was like, yo, I'm too tired to move. I'm not putting up with this bullshit. I'm just sick and tired of this. I'm not going to the back.
Well, listen. Maybe I'm along with the ignorance because I don't really know the true story
Bro,
of her.
she was an NAACP secretary. They planned it out.
Damn, I ain't know that.
Bro, it was a planned protest.
I ain't know that.
I didn't know either. And when I learned it, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Come on, bro.
The only thing I really ever known about her is rest in peace to my friend Chappelle. I know that was her relative, and I remember when I first met her, she used to be telling me like, "That's my cousin, that's my cousin." And I used to be like, "Yeah, right." So I remember we was at her house one day, and she's like, "I'm gonna show you," and she showed me a picture of her from the family reunion.
Oh, that's
But
great.
other than that, I never knew that.
Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna say I was just like I would like to learn more of the details. And then but I've also watched people who know some shit and then they take it further to discredit. Like it's like when people be ignorant and be like, say for example, yo, there was black folks who owned slaves back then, right?
Uh huh.
And then at first, when the first pop up, you caught off guard. Like, ain't nobody tell me this shit. Anybody tell me this is cool. This motherfucker lying. But then you gonna find out that it was. But that's just like me sitting there saying, like, it's a town of like 50,000 people. And of these 50,000 people that live in this town, and everybody in that town got money, two of them is black. Two or three of them. Right? So yeah, is there occurrences where they were like a small amount, not the majority, not half, not even like 1/4, like 1/10, not even 1/10, maybe 1/20th owned actually was black and owned slaves, right?
That's
1/20.
not even that. Like
Not even that probably.
maybe one in a 10,000, maybe.
Maybe. So like, yo, like it's just to me like, what does that excuse it? And then I learned because I was ignorant. They used to use the argument, well, who you think helped capture them? It was black folks. I'm not understanding how the world works, right? So I'm me being ignorant and used to look before I got self-educated myself. I used to be ignorant, just look at when they just would say Africa, they would just say Africa, right? And Africans.
Mm-hmm.
Not understanding that there's all these different cultures, countries, people, faiths, beliefs, tribes, so much diversity on that continent of just people with a whole different set for different ideas, beliefs, structures, all that stuff. And so, like, yo, they weren't looking at it like, yo, we setting up because they didn't look at it like color back then. They just looked at like, yo, these motherfuckers is our competition.
But listen,
And if we can get rid of our comp, that makes it easier for us to thrive as a people.
but that's not 100% true, right? Okay, so that's kind of like the free will argument, right? Okay, so you can't make conscious decisions when you are under duress. You have to understand it more. There's
Oh no,
only
what you're talking. You're talking about when colonialism. I'm talking about before it became a colonialism thing, right? Before they started coming down, the British and the Dutch and everybody else started coming down.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different conversation. So I know what you're talking about that. I'm talking about when it first started, before it became, for lack of a better word, an industrialized or commercialized business.
Shadow.
Yeah. So when it first started happening and how they was going about it, then when it became commercialized, where it was, I think the Dutch are the first ones that started off, if I'm not wrong. And then when everybody else jumped into it, and then fuck taking from the slaves when they came with the mind state to colonize.
Well, the people who really brought us over here are the Portuguese, right?
Portuguese.
Yeah, the Portuguese are the first to really contact. But the thing that people don't think about or know is that Spain, and Portugal is at the tip of Spain, and at that point they were part of the Spanish crown, right? It's only 9 miles from North Africa.
Yeah,
you can see it.
Yeah,
you can see it.
Yeah, I didn't know that the Spaniards are actually. You learn something, bro. I didn't know that Spanish is not like. I didn't know that that's not South America and Mexico in everybody else's language and a
Spain.
lot of their culture. I didn't know
Spain.
that. Huh?
Look, Spain.
Yeah,
But look at this though. I'm gonna teach you something else. Okay, so look, have you ever heard of the Moors?
yeah.
Okay, so look, what the Moors are referred to, what that means is the Moroccans, right?
Hmm.
The stories of the Moors over there are true. And the way that you can prove that is because Spanish and Italian are hybrid languages of Latin and Arabic.
Hmm.
So that proves that they really did invade, right?
Hmm.
So what happened? It was in the late 1400s, early 1500s. Pope Eugenius the Fourth gave the Portuguese the written consent to attack the Negroes from the Canary Islands. Hence, slavery started.
Crazy, bro. I swear it's you know the hardest part about learning and becoming educated or wise or being put on or becoming less ignorant
Hmm.
is the hardest part of it is unlearning what you've been taught.
Right. They
That's the
also
hard part.
they
Like what
also
you've been taught your whole life.
ruled Spain 700 years too. My bad.
Yeah, yeah. Learning that, like, bro, like at some point, all these people are conquered people or taken over people who come from or are rooted in other people. And so, I mean, that's when, but it took somebody wise to bring to my attention, like, yo, school was only meant to be, our idea of set up a school was only intended to be to give you the tools necessary, the basic tools necessary for you to go out and be able to further educate yourself with truths and real understanding. Um, the American system is too, it just like any country system is to indoctrinate you into their beliefs or their stories of how they
Right.
came to be, and to make it always look like they were the good guys. They were fighting for the just cause and just right. Of what we've learned in this process is that for some reason, maybe because it's so recent, slavery was a thorn in their side, and because now they're tired of their children growing up and having to be forced to hear about this guilt. Maybe because unfairly, but to a degree true, we still have so many people who never been a slave in their life, but use it use it as an, I don't want to say an excuse, but an excuse for why they can't get shit without them actually even trying to have shit, like racism. I'm gonna say racism different, and it mean racism compared to prejudice, right? We both know racism exists. This system, there's so many instances to prove that racism as a systemic system exists, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But there's so many people who don't know that, or better yet, will confuse on certain situations racism and prejudice and don't know the difference between the two.
Right.
And that's the hard part, learning to also some of the harsh truths in the world about our people, some of the harsh truths in the world about other people, some of the harsh truths about religion, some of the harsh truths about just our diet, our culture, or what we consider our culture. And it's like it's a shock. It can be almost become depressing because you feel like you were lied to most of your life by both sides.
True. Um, I remember when I stayed there for Akron, right? That's when
Yeah.
I realized, and this was what I've been back about 7 years now, right?
Uh-huh.
I realized something. A lot of the stories that they taught us in school about birds flying south and all that shit ain't true. And the way I know it's not true is because they had a big population of Canadian geese
Yeah.
in Akron. And
Yeah.
in the wintertime, they still had them same goddamn Canadian geese. They wouldn't go nowhere. They wouldn't fly south. They wouldn't do shit. I done seen cardinals in the wintertime. I done seen blue jays in the wintertime. I would probably think that maybe bears hibernate, but I've
Yeah.
also found out recently that they really don't. They just eat berries and shit.
Yeah. They go into, they don't sleep the whole fucking time. Like
Right.
they're there. It's just like the motherfuckers just go in their cave or whatever the fuck, their den, sleep a fucking lot, and they don't hunt as much and they're not as active. They're just not as active. But we was told that they just hibernate, like these motherfuckers just lay sleep. For like,
Right. A whole mammal sleep for just 5 or 6 months.
yeah, like they
They
ain't
got
shitting, they ain't got to get up and get thirsty. Like, nah, like no, these motherfuckers.
listen, an animal built for the wintertime.
Right. Yeah, bro. That my heart on this journey, my hardest part is not learning. It is learning to, well, I guess it is learning, but not learning new things, but learning to unlearn what I've been taught. Learning to look at things differently from then just the perspective I've been given. I've always been humble and being able to want to see other people's perspectives and sides. I mean, how can you come to conclusion? How can you fix anything if I can't hear where you come from, right? I can't understand why you feel the way you feel, why your experience made you come to the realization or to expect or experience things in a way of it being your truth. Because your truth may be your truth. And I may think for everything in the world that, like for me, my experience, God exists. God is this. Your experience has given you something totally different, and it's unfair of me just to totally rule you out. I can still believe in what I believe in, but listen and try to understand and learn why. If I want to change your mind, should not, if first and foremost, should not learn to understand how you came there to try to help or try to disprove or try to maybe we can change your mind on something compared to just shutting you all the way down, calling you stupid, calling you out your name, or just whatever case. Most people do that out of fear because they don't want to learn something new that may make themselves start to question what they have believed.
I mean, a person is entitled to believe whatever they want.
Yeah.
What we believe is based on where we're from. If we weren't from where we were from, we
We would
wouldn't
believe,
believe what we believe.
right.
If we
America was founded by Muslims. Most of us in the
would
country
be
did not
Muslim,
Muslim.
right? We would for sure be Muslim. If you was from India, more than likely you would be what them damn things are. You believe in Krishna. Uh,
Mhm.
it's based on what your family's taught you and things like that. So I don't think that people should be classified as to what they believe. Um, I think that you should be classified as to what you are. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess
Right.
we have enough of that,
Yeah.
nowadays with racism or whatever, and tribalism. But it is what it is. You know.
Let's you know what? Let's stay since we're going back and forth and we're going over history and travel and being certain things pushed on you. Let's kind of keep it this way with and let's talk about colonizers or colonizing.
Everything that we do is based off of colonization. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
You're born in a world where everything you need is right there. That's how you're born. You're naturally born like that, right? Everything you need is right there. And you mean to tell me that I gotta pay to stay here? That's colonial, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you have tribal people trying to keep their lands and stuff like that. They ain't used to paying no fucking rent. What for? We belong to this land, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's where it starts at. Now that I'm older and I see things for what it is, and I know the situation in Israel Palestine, that's the same shit that happened here. These people then
Mm-hmm.
brainwashed us and convinced us that the Native American people were wrong for just being here, minding their own motherfucking business. We've been watching cartoons that made them look derogatory, calling them engines and shit like that. I remember watching that shit as a kid, and I remember my brain saying like, "Yeah, you know, thinking that I'm on the side of these people that's committing genocide to these people."
You're right.
It's
You're
just
right.
it's just sad. And then this motherfucker on this screen, you ran your ass up out of South Africa because I like what's happening in South Africa now. They're taking
Yeah.
their shit back from your ass.
Yeah. They taking it back.
They're
Yeah.
taking it the fuck back from you, right? You came here, you overstayed your fucking visa, You became a billionaire. You're an illegal alien. Now you're trying to get all these other people that's trying to run from there to come here. If they was black, you wouldn't be doing that shit. They wouldn't let that fly.
Well, now they're trying to take it back now because Trump was talking about South Africa and what they're doing is really, really wrong, and farms are being took from people and just really horrible people, and they're losing what's rightfully theirs. Nah, fuck that. That ain't rightfully. Don't get me wrong. I am a firm believer in there's a right and a wrong way to do things. But who am I, or what power do I have, or what permission do I have to tell the people of South Africa who know that this land that is being farmed on, because they're a lot better versed on their history of their land and what belongs to their people that was taken from them by the colonizers, for telling them that they're wrong for going back in the South African government, now telling people like, yo, we kicking y'all the fuck out. We seizing these farms because these farms once belonged to this people.
Right.
These people. Tribes. Yeah, you took it illegally. You came and forcefully took it. Now we're going to forcefully take it back. Because what happens is when the colonizers come along, they're heroes. When they take shit from you, when they rob you of something, when they destroy your history and everything else, they're fucking heroes. But when you go to take it back, you're wrong. You're unfairly doing something to them. You're unfairly and unjustly robbing them of what they worked hard for. And no, I get it. Most of these people who are there didn't do it. They just grew up from at least 3, 4, 5 generations.
And it was given to them.
This. And so I understand how that can make you feel like, yo, I didn't do it, but you benefited and are benefiting from it, whether you like it or not. And that's the same thing that plagues America now, where you have so many people who feel like, yo, I didn't enslave nobody. I wasn't beat nobody. I wasn't whatever the case. And so a lot of them, this bothers them because they're like, why do I have to suffer and pay for something I didn't do? And I'm going to tell you that, no, I don't think it's fair, but you're mad at the wrong people for you being in this predicament.
But look at it like this though, right? Okay, so the land was illegally taken from the natives, right?
Yeah.
They was slaughtered, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got paid. They got motherfucking paid. We're the ones who did the work. Everybody got paid but us. Listen, the victims of the Holocaust, they got paid. They got paid. How come we don't ever get it? And we're the ones who put in the fucking work. The key word in reparations is repair.
Yeah.
It's repair.
They don't want to repair. You don't want to repair something because to do it is, which I don't understand why there's even a fight about whatever you did was wrong, but just own the truth. Like, just live it. Folks will be past it, and it wouldn't, if they just would have done it.
Give every last one of us our 40 acres.
Give
every last one of us our 40 acres because you got the space here in the United States to give it to us right now. You do.
But if they just would have done it, then it would have been thing. But the hard part is that, how about this? I'm all for reparations. I just don't think these people today are ready for it and would know what exactly to do. I get it. It's not my choice to make how they go and fuck up with what's given to them, but their ancestors are the ones who worked their ass off for it and who would have done right and made better with that land. Most of these motherfuckers don't know to go farm land, don't know how to go invest in their land, or that they can own the land. I'm saying most. I'm not even gonna say half. Most of these motherfuckers is ignorant. We're not understanding that shit. Or all that's gonna come along is the motherfucker gonna come along with a check, offer them a check, and they're gonna flip it because they don't want to do the work.
Let them do it. Let them fuck.
I know that. It's like, as much as I would love to see it, I don't want to see, because it's the setup for the major setback.
But listen,
and then you have nothing to stand on after that, and then it's even worse.
that's like that's like a person owing you some money, right? And
Yeah,
they fucking justification for not giving it to you is like, oh, he's just gonna fuck it up. I
yeah.
don't
If
give
I
a
give you
fuck.
back,
Give me
if
my
I pay
shit.
you back your money, I know you ain't gonna do nothing but just fuck it up, right?
I don't give a
I
fuck.
know,
Give me my shit.
Reggie, I'm agreeing with what I'm saying to you is I know it sounds wrong. My intent or belief behind it is I just wish emotionally, mentally, and even culturally, we were in a better place to be able to receive that if ever given, which it will never be given, but to receive that.
I don't
So
know why
therefore we
not.
can capitalize off of it like we properly can.
Listen, don't let these people fucking brainwash you and confuse you and make you think that we don't know how to farm. Let me teach you something. Do you know what the word sharecropper means?
I do, but
It
that's not
means
us.
black
That's not
person.
me. That's not me. That's not you.
J-
That's our
listen,
ancestors.
listen, listen.
Ancestors.
No, 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 no. Listen, you know my mom just passed away.
Mhm.
My mother picked fruit. Her mother picked fruit. Her mother picked fruit. All my aunts, all my cousins, all my uncles picked fruit. Listen, when we stayed on Worthington, you can ask anybody in my family. We had a big ass fucking garden with every fucking thing in it that you can think of.
Right. I grew
I
up with
know
one
how.
too. My mother,
I know how.
but I know, but our people that know or was passed down, what was passed down to them, or what was left of all the tricks of the trade and the skill sets that we have faded. You make it figure it out. I make it figure it out. Unfortunately, my child gonna look like I'm not doing that shit. And the sad part about it, it's even more fucked up from them because from the standpoint of their grandparents on their mom's side are freaking what the migrant workers. They have Mexican migrant workers. Their grandmother. My wife don't know nothing about no picking no crops, no planting, no shit. These motherfuckers is spoiled, and it's by design.
I feel you, but it's
It's,
not.
it's,
It's not.
it's,
Listen,
and it's hard, and it's
it's not
hard
as difficult
work,
as you
Reggie.
think, bro.
It's
I mean, yeah, it
hard
is
work
hard
to
work. It
do it.
is hard work.
And a
Listen,
lot
I
of
had to
people
fucking, I
don't.
had to water that shit every fucking
Right.
day. Hell
I
yeah,
know,
that
but
shit hard
talk
work.
about 40 acres. Motherfuckers don't have an idea of exactly the average. There are motherfuckers who grew up in the South. There are some black people who grew up in the South
Hmm.
who will be just fine, who will do right with it.
All my cousins from
Right,
down south will be
right.
just
Who
fine.
will do
That's
just fine, who will do amazing with it.
hmm
It's a lot of Negroes, niggas, ignorant motherfuckers that would not know what to fucking do with 40 acres. Have no
Yeah.
clue.
40 acres would be a bit much for one person to take on, but
Yeah. These
if it's
motherfuckers wouldn't know what to do.
if
They
it's
would
if
have
it's
no
them and their
clue.
family, I think they could manage.
There's some people
They can
that's some
manage.
hustlers. Figure it out, Reggie. Some of them
It's
will.
in you. It's
Yeah.
in you.
There's some. But bro, it not to be religious, but this one thing I do agree with in religion when they talk about it is most ain't making it into the kingdom. And you know what most is? Most is more than half. And these motherfuckers still go to church or pray every Sunday just with the whole congregation. And I just look, not me, I just look at it like from the scripture, from the words you all believe in. Most of y'all motherfuckers ain't gonna make it.
Listen, I'm telling you, we're more resilient than what you think. Listen, the rice that we have over here, you know that we brought that shit over here. And we taught them how to do that shit. And the way that we brought the rice over here is because the slaves put that shit in their damn braids, bro. I'm telling you. We
Bro,
smarter than you think.
but bro, you're talking about our ancestors who grew up and had no choice because their everyday was survival was
What you
about
think
that.
gonna happen if you ain't got no choice
But
and you
bro,
get
what I'm gonna
given
say
that?
because that they grew up with that and they would have passed it down. What do these motherfuckers, unless you from the South or grew up in the South and your family owned farm, and that's not speaking for everybody, but I'm gonna be fair, 60, 70, 30 in the South, whatever case. But up north, out west, it's a whole different, especially out west and out east, it's a whole different story.
I mean, yeah, them motherfuckers from like the big city, like New York City and all that shit. Hell nah, them motherfuckers
No,
don't.
the motherfuckers
But
that
their
don't know what to
grandparents
do.
do.
Their grandparents do, yeah,
The
maybe,
trick,
but we
the
so
trick
fucked
to it
up
is
health
to make
wise.
sure you
Their
get all the
grandparents
weeds
get
and the grass
we
out
so
of it.
fucked up health wise. They are not our most of our grandparents. If this healthcare system collapsed, we so fucked up from our diet and every fucking thing else. Now from living in this country and being spoiled by all this processed stuff and everything, like survival without these meds that we're now forced to have to take from being diabetic or high blood pressure because of our diets or because of these culturally appropriated foods that we love to hold on to that's got us fucked.
I will say one thing though. They didn't know everything now. I mean, they knew how to survive off the land and shit like that, and
Right.
do. But their choices in food and all that shit was not the best. It was not the best, and the reason why it wasn't the best is because black people, we turn shit to sugar, right? We make something out of nothing, right?
Mm.
So some things become delicacies to us that are not healthy, like.
I think that's for just about almost every culture, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? It's
Definitely.
like a human nature thing, but you only know what to survive off of what the land gives to you, and then what become delicacies is the things that are harder to get. But then if you create it to be more than that, then you overindulge over it, right?
Right. You know what I recently found out? Not to change topic, but you know who else eat chitlins?
Besides who? Besides the Spanish?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Puerto Ricans eat that shit.
Yeah,
and I did not know that.
Mexicans do too. I think of the word of it. The motherfuckers eat cow stomach noodle.
We do too.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get a refill.
All right. So learning that, bro, and I know you gone. I'm gonna keep talking, and understanding how similar a lot of these cultures are, but also just I'm people in South Africa keep fighting for what's yours. I don't want to see nobody hurt behind it, but I'm also can't tell a disenfranchised person how to act or react to the trauma or the experience that they have, how they choose to deal with it to reclaim what is theirs. For a lot of you don't know, and a lot of people don't know, Elon Musk. I'm not going. I felt it was a Hitler salute, German Nazi salute, but a lot of people want to argue and try to say that it wasn't. Whatever case, talking about my heart belongs to you, hitting on his chest. My heart belongs to you. And you turn around, and then he goes and be like, my heart belongs to you. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. That dude know what he's doing. And then you're going to sit there and try to walk like a duck, quack like a duck. It's a motherfucking duck. Guess who Elon grandfather was? A very famous, known Nazi sympathizer out of Canada who moved to South Africa. And you know what South Africa is considered before the actual real people of South Africa took back control of it? One of the most racist, prejudiced places on this planet Earth.
Still is.
Still is. I'm just sitting there saying, and this is where this man is from. And I got people, and I'm not gonna throw nobody in the spot and giving that whatever case, I don't know if they know these certain things. They only just take what's told to them and be like, oh, well, that's different. But I've watched and I will watch, and history will repeat itself. And these certain things will keep taking place. And we can choose to ignore if you want to, and it's still gonna happen whether you ignore it or not. And it's only so long you can keep ignoring some shit. Then it's gonna eventually affect you. And when it affects you, it's too late. By the time it gets to you and it's affecting you, too late. You're already in it.
Listen, apologists for whatever the topic is always want you to forget shit like it just never happened. Listen, apartheid was only like 25, 30 years ago, right? I've seen the videos. I remember watching that shit growing up. I remember when they let Nelson Mandela out of prison. I remember all that shit. I remember what's the name of that damn ghetto they got in South Africa? Is it Soweto? What's the name of it? And it's another one where they basically it was kind of like a concentration camp.
Diallo Band said, "Man, he Puerto Rican talking about man, we don't eat that shit." Talking about chitlins. Sorry, go ahead.
I know some that do.
I know some that do.
But yeah, they act like people just forgot all about this apartheid shit. You can't play victim now after all that stuff you did to him. You had that man locked up for 50, 60 years in prison just because he didn't want to pretty much be a slave. Um, I can't feel guilty. I mean, excuse me. I can't feel sorry for anything that is happening to these people. Just because you're losing your shit, you got it handed to you. You ain't worked a day in your life, and these videos are quite recent, and there still is a big wealth gap in that country. Um, so fuck him. He's a billionaire.
He'll be all right. Niggas get shot every day. He'll be all right. um, yo, I'm not going. I'm like you. Yo, fight back and take. And unfortunately, the fight back and take was rightfully yours. Some people's feelings are going to get hurt. Some people are going to lose some shit that maybe they work hard to keep, but the ancestors might not have worked that hard to get. Um, and that's just you can go back and just go look through history of how the land and how all that stuff was dispersed and given to people and then robbed from people throughout time and history with America. We all know it's not fair, and unfortunately, some of these injustices that has been done by this country to other countries, even us as Black people, by being here and living here, have benefited from some shape, form, or fashion. So nobody's not unguilty, but America still does some fucked up things in the world. And there are other people, Europeans, Europe still does some fucked up things in the world. France still does some fucked up things in the world. America is not perfect.
UK.
We're not the only ones this is not the only country that does this dirt. Hell, there's different countries within Africa that does some fucked up shit. People are people. So I'll leave it at that. He's a fucking colonizer.
He definitely is. Fuck
he's the fucking colonizer, and I don't feel no sympathy. And I hope the other countries continue to drop his product, not want to fuck with him or Tesla. And then we'll see how long he stays the richest man in the world.
I hope the next president, right, that comes in office, right, I hope he takes them same exact tactics, but just on the opposite end and be extreme leftist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kicks his motherfucking ass out the country and his products.
He's a colonizer. What else were we going to talk about? You want to talk about 50 being
yes,
super petty, immature?
Yes, absolutely.
So 50 Cent versus you want to do Herb Gotti first or Big Meech?
Well, you know what? For the past couple of years, I really haven't been feeling 50 Cent. Truthfully, I did respect the fact that he looked out for Monique because everybody had turned their back on Monique. So I respected that he looked out for. But you know what, though? Now that I'm starting to see that this is happening between him and Big Meech, I'm starting to gain a little bit of respect for 50 Cent. He might be going about things the wrong way, but with him, I'm starting to see that it's more about the principle, right? With things. Since Irv Gotti is on the screen, I'm gonna touch on that. You don't talk about nobody that's dead though, bro. That's a little bit too far. But I have seen recent interviews with Irv Gotti and him saying some real fucked up shit about 50. It doesn't excuse the fact, but he could have just 50 could have just been like, you know what, I ain't fuck with him, but rest in peace. You know,
right.
I seen him today on his thing, smoke a hookah, talking about he's smoking on that that Earth back. I'm like, you wrong, bro. You wrong, man. That's too far, 50. But again, they've had a long-standing history. He has tried to take 50 Cent life,
bro.
He has tried to take 50 Cent life on more than one occasion. He's admitted it. 50's admitted it. They done been into some serious battles, and now I seen an interview, like I said, with him, and it's all derived from 50 was just trying so desperately to get on. And Irv was saying that he basically was stalking him, and he just kept ignoring him, and it just escalated.
I think if Irv Gotti wouldn't have been not passed up on him, I don't think he would be the 50 Cent he is today. But yo, I'm gonna look at this. 50 is like my number 3, maybe number 4 favorite rapper. 4 favorite rappers.
What?
Yeah. My favorite is Pac. Pac is my number 1. Kendrick Lamar is my number 2. Corrupt was my number 3. The old Corrupt, not the. I just thought Corrupt could do no wrong until he started putting out solo albums, except for maybe 2 solo albums of his that I love. But I love the Dog Food album. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. But 50 is up there. But what I've learned about 50 Cent, as much as I like and root for him and always talk shit and argue my boys about him, is that 50 Cent is a very damaged man. And I don't know, for all this wealth and everything he's accumulated, the one thing he hasn't accumulated is self-healing. He's made a lot of money. He's done a lot of things, bro. But because he's so damaged, whether it be from him being shot or from losing his mom, he has extreme trust issues. He crossed at one time, and he doesn't know how to let go of things, or sometimes take ownership of how he might have helped make that situation be what it was. And so there's a little bit of accountability to it. Like, I've watched guys who've been super thankful to him, and as much as he throws them under the bus, still Lloyd Banks still will not to this day say shit about 50 Cent, but 50 Cent will take any chance he's got to throw a jab at him, right? Like, he just has to. Like, he's like, yo, I got to just to remind. He just loves enjoying the fact of reminding people that he's still a bully, because that's the only way he knows how to exude confidence and power. He's a damaged individual. Just look how he treats his son. Look how, like, even with Big Lil Meech was like trying to reach out, like, yo, I didn't do it. It's my dad and my dad, whatever the case. And like, how you take this cat in and treat him like a son, but then the minute his dad fuck up, you just like cut it all off like that didn't.
Because listen, not only did he do that, right? He took Little Meech took a picture with Supreme son.
Big Meech's the one that did with the shirt and everything.
Okay, well,
yeah. But Lil Meech was like, yo, like, fuck Ross, like, yo, da da da.
That's Ross.
He knows 50 did a lot. 50's a guy who will do a lot for you.
But that's just Ross. Listen. It seemed like you sending a message. You feel, why would you do that? You know that man tried to kill me, and he killed my mom. You know his dad killed my mom.
Right.
And he tried to kill me. You know?
I get it. I get it. I just feel that he holds on to things, and he holds on to things because it's more of a safety blanket. Like, he has to. That's like only way he knows how to survive.
I feel you, but you know, sometimes though, when you see
he's just a damaged individual.
When you see that sign of disloyalty, to most times it's best to cut a motherfucker off, because they're gonna do it again. They're gonna do it again.
Yeah, but there's a way you go. At some point, you got to show maturity. Like, even with the Gotti thing, bro.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong.
I mean, but bro, he approaches everything. He's just an immature 50-year. I think he's 50 now, almost 40 something, 50. Bro, this is an immature. This is one of my favorite rappers, bro. I swear. And I used to take him from so much of his shit. Like, yo, but at some point, you got to, like, you need to grow the fuck up.
Listen, the Irv Gotti situation, that's wrong, because you don't talk about nobody that's dead. I'm going to wholeheartedly agree with you on that. But him cutting motherfucking Meech off, and
cut Big Meech off, and even if you want to cut back from Lil Meech, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you ain't got to expose the little dude's text messages to you.
No, he ain't have to do that. And I'll tell you another thing I didn't agree with 50 Cent, right? Like, bruh, why the fuck is you running around saying he a snitch?
Right.
2 reasons you shouldn't do that. Number 1, let's not forget that your name is not clean.
Right.
I ain't forgot. Just because it was 20-some years ago, I ain't forgot. That's number 1. And number 2, you only saying that shit about Meech because you mad about something that don't got nothing to do with that. All the information that you have on Meech, you had prior to last week or the week before. So you just saying that now because you mad. That's weak. That's
what I'm sitting saying, like, bro, that's like weak. That's what I'm like. Sometimes silence is the best. Silence is fucking golden. Just cut a nigga off, finish out the season, and then be done with him.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
fucking don't know.
don't give him no explanation.
No explanation. Like, yo, he know why. Because we knew when he took the picture next to Ross, everybody knew on the internet before 50 got to respond. Like, oh, he done fucked up.
He done
50
fucked
ain't
up.
gonna like that.
He done
Oh,
fucked up.
man.
He done fucked up.
Yeah. Like, yo, and I really do believe Meech let Ross and whoever else get in his ear. And they say he came back, he got out of prison and started demanding like more control of the show and a lot of other stuff. And folks, and so like he just got out kind of moving, like he thought he was still that nigga. Well, unfortunately, our society, our culture treated him like he was some fucking king.
Yeah, they did.
We keep treating these destructive assholes like they're fucking we idolize people who have we idolize the, and no disrespect because I know he turned his life around, but the damage has been done. The real Rick Ross, right? Nino Brown is like niggas heroes. Like we niggas honor Scarface. He was calling us monkeys and niggers.
Yeah. I say that too. The last part, I'd be like, why do black people well, not the whole part, your whole point. I say, why do black people always idolize Italian mobsters and Colombian and Mexican drug lords?
Because they're like, fuck the system. When we love anybody that's fuck the system.
But listen, their code is one of their codes is to not deal with black people.
Right.
Both of them.
I know. You know. But we can't, we idolize them. We do. I can't get it. When I was younger, I fell into the trap, maybe because of what rap music made me just look at the bad guy like he was the anti-hero. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Punisher was one of my most favorite comic book heroes, right? Wolverine, the guy who broke the rules, he was still good, but he was just the I don't give a fuck X-Men. You know what I mean? Like we like, I don't know, we like the ones that's like still, we feel like they're doing good because they're like F the system and they're trying to survive. And we always relate to those who are trying to survive and feeling like they're fighting against the system. But we don't never pay attention to the fact that not only they're fighting against the system, but their whole thing is still like F them, which is us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's we don't pay attention to that part. We just look at them like badass. The Godfathers, the Godfather movies, they ain't fuck with us.
We do that about a lot of things.
Yeah. Don't fuck with us. We should have been left. What was it, Gucci or whatever case? Who was it came out with the black face mask? And we protested for like a couple weeks, but folks like, I'm not giving that up. Oh, and they didn't want to give it up. That's that fake. That's that fake I'm black and I'm proud shit. Bro, that's just like I'm mad because it was trending to be mad. But you pay so much money for some shit that you like, I just don't, these motherfuckers ain't really mad. They ain't reached their point. And they not reached their point. So that's why when you talk to me about they'll figure it out and they didn't know what to do, no, they won't. Motherfuckers will give up an acre for a Gucci bag. Motherfuckers will give up an acre for a new Cadillac, a leased Cadillac every year.
You gotta listen. You can't tell a person what to do with their shit.
I agree. I just don't. I'd rather they not get it because I don't want to see them fuck it up.
No, I'd rather see them get it and fuck it up than never have it.
No,
listen. I'd rather get $1 million right now and blow it in a week than live my life and never get that opportunity. You crazy? Give them the shit.
Hopefully, it's still when it comes. If it ever came, it comes to when they're ready.
It can. Listen, it can. But see, the thing is, people need to learn what political leverage is. You have to force a person like, listen, either you do this or we're not going to vote for you. If you can get that to happen where everybody is on the same accord, it'll happen. Just like it did for everybody else. It's no different than the situation we're watching unfold in America right now. Oh, all the illegals are getting all these food stamps and they're doing this, blah, 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 the Haitians and the Venezuelans. Completely overlooking the Ukrainians.
Mm-hmm.
Completely.
Yeah, bro. Did you see all the Arab or Muslim people in America that voted for Trump all pissed off? because of the decision he made with.
I'm just like, I mean,
did you not see this coming?
how do people not listen to what he's saying out of his mouth?
They
The
don't.
last time he was the last time he was the president, right? He
Mhm.
literally put sanctions on every fucking Arabic speaking country in the world. What is that telling you? Oh, we got to figure it out. So you're gonna let this man that you know is a colonizer that hates your ass convince you that it's a good idea to regulate your people from coming into this country because he needs to figure it out and y'all terrorists, according to him. And then you
Mhm.
vote for him?
Mhm.
I know why you voted for him. You voted for him because you refuse to vote for a woman. It's against your religion, kind of.
Whoa. Yo, they were talking about a lot of Hispanic, Spanish or Hispanic were upset
Say some
too.
more.
They were
Man,
like, we were lied to. Duh. It's Donald Trump. Did you not ever pay attention to the every time they kept track of his lies? We knew he was gonna lie to you.
listen, people's memories are just too short.
Bro, people just aren't ready for real freedom. Because they don't know what to do with it. And they taken the liberties and freedoms and things that they have now for granted. But this is all part of the process. And the process continues to repeat itself. And we're just in another step along the journey to where you get to a point, you go through all the bullshit, you get freedom, you get democracy, and there's a little bit of peace, better decision, the people get along, people take it for granted. When you give motherfuckers free speech, they take it for granted. When you give motherfuckers freedom of the press and everybody else takes it for granted because people get greedy. It's human nature. Motherfuckers get greedy, they want more. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to get more. That's all we have in this society is people want more, and then what happens is I'll send you the link to what I'm talking about. But I'm just watching this shit unfold, and it's like just watching it. It's the part that sucks is knowing what's happening as it's happening, and feeling powerless, like there's nothing you can do. What do we have next? Whoa, whoa. I think the only thing we got left is let's talk about the Super Bowl. Fly Eagles fly. My squad. Reggie, you see my squad? You see we here? I know you see us. We gonna lose to the Chiefs because the refs is gonna cheat us, but we made
Come
it.
on, man.
We gonna
Come
get
on,
cheated.
man. This
I
shit.
know we getting cheated.
That's what you call a prepaid fucking conspiracy. That is bull. Listen,
Was the
people take
bull when we said it when they was gonna play the Bills?
no. Listen, you just can't beat them. The bottom line is this: look, I'm a Denver Bronco fan, so I know firsthand
Sorry.
what this man can do. If he gets the ball with the last possession, forget about it. Until you beat him, I don't believe it. He has your number. He has Philadelphia's number on speed dial. Matter of fact, he knows that bitch by heart, and you know he does. Now, are you more loaded than you was last time he beat you? Absolutely. You have a way better chance. I think he knows the offense a little bit better. I think he's more of a comfortable passer at this point. Um, that's yet to be seen because we know the monster that he has in the backfield of Saquon Barkley. We know that he's going to get his one way or the other. I think if Kansas City can just bend and not break, uh, keep them uh, out of the red zone. Well, not really out the red zone, but out of 10 yards,
Yeah.
within 10 yards, because, if they get it within 5, they're going to get the touchdown. They're just going to keep doing the tight push. If you can keep them away from that and keep them kicking field goals, Kansas City, I think it's going to beat y'all by a field goal.
Man, fuck that. I'm saying we winning. We winning. I
Man,
want to hear it. We winning, Reggie. I'm positive thinking. Fuck the refs. Patty Mahomes is a GOAT, but he ain't my GOAT. Fuck the refs. Fuck the Chiefs. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Stack the box.
Ah!
They stack that box on y'all. Maybe put 7 in the box.
You can't afford to stack the box with the receivers we got.
Yes, you can when you got a person that's not gonna hit them right on the money.
That's true and unfair, but don't say it too loud because Big Chicken gonna argue with you. Big
You know,
Chicken is a Jalen Hurts believer, bro.
now listen. I'm not gonna lie. What you're saying is true. I think that eventually they're gonna get a couple catches here and there. If you could stop them and maybe pick him once, maybe twice, I think they'll get it off. Because Hurst, every time he drops back to throw the ball, he is going to be under duress, and you know that the blitz is coming. So we're gonna see.
We'll see. Bro, what you got for me new that came out music wise? Shout out your music podcast too.
Okay, so 2 Chainz came out with an album with what's his
Him
name?
and
Is it something Joyner Lucas?
him and no, not Joyner Lucas. It's 2 Chainz,
Alchemist, and
Alchemist,
I listened to it at work.
and oh no, what's his face? What the damn dude name?
It's Larry June.
Larry June.
It's Larry June. I actually liked it. I listened to it a lot at work. The best song on an album to me is the second song. It's Colossal, I think. 2 Chainz definitely stepped his bars up on this one. Just from me looking at it, I was thinking that, Larry June was gonna be getting the best out of him. Nah, 2 Chainz, he
No,
spit.
2 Chainz go hard, bro. That shit went hard. I fucks with it. Alchemist did his thing production wise.
Definitely.
Everything didn't sound the same. Honestly, if I'm being real, the only reason I didn't like this pairing is because I just felt like 2 Chainz lightweight do come with. So although he got lazy on a few of these songs, but when he really wanted to rap, he rapped his ass off, and I just don't never feel like Larry June came. Larry June was Larry June, but he didn't come with. I just didn't think it was a good pairing.
I thought that maybe I was tripping because 2 Chainz is not known for his bars. We don't look at 2 Chainz as a spitter or nothing like that. But when I listen to this album, yeah, he probably is. And compared to Larry June, he definitely is. And that's the bottom line. He's a way better rapper than Larry June. Way better. And that's the truth of the situation. It's almost like a pro compared to a rookie almost.
Yeah. It just sucks, but I mean, kudos to Larry June for coming out of his comfort zone on a lot of these beats. It just felt like it didn't. A lot of these songs, he did okay, but a lot of these songs didn't fit his flow. But it was still good. It's still a good listen.
Right. Somebody else was talking to me about Larry June and telling me to listen to him a few months ago. And what I did hear of his was more of like West Coast type beats. Yeah. So I think he should probably stick to that.
Cool. So you got anything else you're working on? Anything new? Any interviews or anything like that going on, brother?
Nope. I ain't got nothing going on right now. Catch me on Sunday. I don't know what the topic's gonna be. Faith, lies, and confusion.
Bet. Catch us on Wednesday. We'll be back with AAA Sports. Me, myself, Big Chicken, Godless Reggie Teran, aka the Church League MVP, 4 years running, except for that 1 year when Deacon Jones took it from him. Shout out to DJ, shout out to D80, shout out to Diallo Bands. Am I missing anybody? C5. Yeah, shout out to C5. C5 be through later on tonight. We got a studio session going on. So, shout out to the real ones. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank y'all for
tuning in. Good night.
Good night.